For some reason, I have a hankering for tequila. It's Hearts Standard. I'm Craig Cairns. That's Joel Sked. And we have just watched a 6-goal display from Hearts. We didn't see it coming. I don't know, we're like fairly confident with the form going into this, but we didn't see that kind of result, did we?
No, so before the game I was speaking to someone. I was like, if you offered me a draw I would probably take it. That's after seeing the team lineup. I think it wasn't terrible, but it didn't fill me with loads of confidence. A couple hours later, and I am regretting not getting the train up, so I go straight to the pub because that's the type of day it was, in a good way. I think that is a result and performance and afternoon that deserves to be celebrated by a nice ice cold pint of Tennent's in some Dundee hostility.
It feels like the kind of result that we'll say some things about today, and then we'll have to. No, yeah, maybe. Then we'll have to digest and sort of revisit some of because there was a lot going on there. But I suppose the main thing we want to talk about is the strike partnership, the options that are now up front, and not only did the two of them get on the score sheet today, Kabangu and Shankland, it was just a really positive performance all round, the way they linked up together.
Yeah. We spoke to Kabangu afterwards, and that's going to be out on Sunday night, Monday morning. But that's them played up front now with Kenneth Vargas, with James Wilson, and now with Lauren Shankland. He's built up a relationship of all three quickly, and I think that's testament to himself, because he is just a really good striker, a really good football player, intelligent. He is effervescent. He's very infectious, I think the word Critchley used, and you can see that with, like, Musa had a really struggle to start the game. He lost the ball a lot, and then he did something really well, and Kabangu was clapping him, or he just tried something. Kabangu was clapping him, and he's seen it with when Shankland scored. I think Kabangu went up to celebrate with him about 3 different times. He's that type of character, and you just see that. I think he's the type of player that probably Shankland has been missing for so long, that allows Shankland to go deep, and then someone to take the pressure off him, someone to run in behind like that. You go back a couple of seasons, Ginelli and Shankland, so good. There was elements of that today, and that's not to say that Wilson's not done that, but Kabangu's Wilson's 17. Kabangu is a striker who was signed by one of the best sides in Belgium, and you can see why he was signed by one of the best sides in Belgium.
There was one point as well. I mean, we pointed out before that whether it was Vargas against Brechin or whether it was Wilson the game after that, wherever possible, Kabangu was seeking them out to encourage or to applaud or to just build a relationship with. And even today, there was one point, I honestly can't remember off the top of my head right now if it was the first half or the second half, whether it was an attacking corner or a defensive corner. I remember the end it was up, but it was Lewis Nielsen. He went up to seek out Lewis Nielsen to give him praise for something that he had done, and he's got no obligation to go and like build a relationship with a central defender like that. But it just shows you, and I think that's what Critchley's getting at when he talks about him being like an infectious character about the place and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's you can talk about there's 2 sides to it. You look the mentality side, the attitude, the character. That is positive, and then he's just a really, really good player. And that's you see it with Critchley was as always, and he's very, very guarded in what he says, especially around transfers and future players. But he certainly seems comfortable. I think they use the word comfortable with the situation with Kabangu's deal, because straight away you're thinking, let's just sign him up for the next season. We've got a striker going forward, and again, I will allow myself to get carried away. So everything I say, I'm caveating it with the fact that we're talking about this just an hour and a half or 2 hours after Hearts have won 6-0. The biggest away win in the top flight since 1988, as we discovered, thanks to an associate. And so I will allow myself to get carried away. But immediately I am thinking Rudy Scatchell, where you've got someone who comes in and I don't know, something just clicks, and he belongs, and you've seen it with the fans already absolutely adore him. He just seems comfortable wearing a Hearts strip.
Different goals as well. He showed good instincts against Brechin just to get into those positions and score those goals. It was a fantastic, similarly again for the goal against Kilmarnock, I suppose. And then the two today, one of them just lightning pace to get in behind the defence, and what a cracking volley that was for the second one. So yeah, all round he looks like really exciting. Again, get carried away, get carried away.
That's one where I was actually worried for a second or a split second when he ran into the box. I thought he had taken a wee bit too long, and the Dundee defender was maybe just going to poke away from him, or he was going to get the ball caught under his feet. But it was a lovely finish. The second one, just instinctive, emphatic, really good. And just again, just a guy who believes in himself. That came across when we spoke to him again, which is great. And it's he's just given Hearts a different dimension in attack.
Overshadowed a little bit today, but we should really talk about Lawrence Shankland. First start since Boxing Day.
Yep.
And as I said before, struck up a great partnership, really good linking up with Kabangu there, but he scored a really good goal. I mean, you could argue it's the finish of the day, the way he kind of touches it on the turn and finishes it in one movement. Almost scored before that, but yeah, just overall, it was good to see him sort of return to form.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think over the game, you could see him enjoying his football a wee bit more, and that confidence building. Spittle's strike is absolutely tremendous. And it's life-footed half volley, but there's something in Shankland's one that I think is more impressive. Like you said, with the touch, the turn, and just being able to do that. It was like Shankland from last season, where he's not looking at the goal, but he knows where the goal is.
Yeah,
he knows all he needs to do is touch it and strike it, and it's going to go in the bottom corner, and that's exactly what it did. So yeah, that's going to do him the world of good. Having Kabangu is going to do him the world of good. Having competition is going to do him the world of good.
We have talked about him loads. We'll just kind of brush over and mention quickly that Cammy Devlin was excellent again, but we'll save that. We'll talk about him again, I'm sure. The right side of Hearts.
Sorry, can I just say one thing about Cammy Devlin? I think that summed up his performances. You were wondering how he managed to get the ball or something. He tripped over and still won a tackle. There's like Lyle Cameron is a really good player, really promising player, and midfielder. So he's the type of guy that I think Hearts fans will have watched over the last couple of years and thought he's a good player for Hearts to sign. He didn't get a sniff, and that was mainly down to Cammy Devlin.
The right side of the team was maybe a slight concern going in. It kind of has been on and off for the season, but Forrester had one of his poorer games against Kilmarnock, kind of redeemed himself today. Musa has been dropped out the team after kind of starting well, and then it kind of his form kind of tailing off a wee bit. And obviously there's Lewis Nielsen on the right side of defence, who was just a bit of an unknown. We didn't exactly know how he was going to get on. I don't think there's really anything negative you can say about any of them. Well, I don't know, I don't want to pick on the guy. Musa was maybe a wee bit wasteful in the first half, but when you win 6-0, you're not really going to focus on things like that, are you?
Yeah, so one thing I'd praise Musa for is I think he gave the ball away about 5 times. It felt like 5 times in the first 15 minutes, just overrunning it, or not having a poor touch, or just or playing a poor pass. But his attitude out of possession was still spot on. He prevented a corner brilliantly, brilliant clearance in the box. His attitude out of possession is, and see when you're playing trap, if you're still digging in and working and making it difficult for the opposition, you're still impacting it positively. Hearts fans will enjoy that. And then he found his feet and got better as the game went on, and got the goal as well, which is great for him and his confidence.
Yeah, another goalkeeper mistake that he kind of pounces on. Yeah, I really think that about him. I think the reason that he plays is because he's a bit of a wild card, and he will sometimes give you something in attack. But I think that, like you say there, out of possession, he puts in a shift, and he's just a really sort of reliable player in that sense. Before we finish up, any other business as always? Anything else you want to add?
I would just Lewis Nielsen, really good. It was wasn't as big on his performance last week as some fans were, but again, I maybe put that just down to coming into he literally, I think he said to Barry after the game after Kilmarnock, and said that he had got the text to say that he was going to training on Saturday, and then it was like, oh no, you're on the bench, and then he finds himself on the pitch. So yeah, you can see why maybe he was played a bit unsure at times, but he was really assured today, and I don't think he put a foot wrong. Won a couple of really good headers, skipped past Simon Murray. That confidence again, just winning or being comfortable in front gives players a lot of confidence. Again, I think it's helped that he's had Jamie McCart beside him. He was superb again. Just like I mentioned, him and Devlin is kind of like the two unsung heroes, because Kabangu and Shankland are going to get the headlines and scoring 6 goals, whereas they are the type of players that set up a result and performance like that, as in just guys who know what it takes in Scottish football. You win your battles, you just kind of attitude and providing the team with a foundation, a platform. And yeah, he's someone that's, I think when he was signed, folk were raising his eyebrows, is this what Jamestown's going to be? But you need guys who know the league, who provide balance, who provide experience. He does all of that.
Yeah, we've still to do a wee bit of a deep dive at Jamie McCart's contribution so far, because he's been excellent since he came in. But that's all from us. There's going to be plenty going up on the website. There's also already.
I mean, I'm sorry to jump in, but I do think we need to talk about just very briefly, the wider picture. The fact that Hearts are now positive goal difference.
I put that in the title, so we really have to talk about that. Are Hearts looking at Europe now?
Yes, they have to be, because you have to consider that it's the top 5, so top 5 spots. So 5th potentially gets Europe if whoever finishes in 1 to 4th wins the cup, and then even beyond 5th, Aberdeen are dropping like a stone, which is very, very fun.
Haven't scored since the 2nd of January. Haven't scored in the league since the 2nd of January.
Still makes it all the more frustrating that we didn't win up there, which is really, really annoying. And we might not even get to play them in this after the split when they're bottom 6. But that's me getting ahead of myself, and this will probably come back and bite me in the arse. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at least 4. We're speaking while United and Killie are playing. United look very solid, but if Killie were to win that, he's 7 points to 3rd place and so much to play for. But you just look at the trajectory of this Hearts side, confidence is growing, they're just getting more time on their training ground to gel, and yeah, it's roll on. I was going to say roll on Rangers, but got a St Mirren Cup game in between that, so yeah, it's very positive. But yes, I think now in the position where you're not just looking at top 6, you're looking at, can we get into Europe, and why not? I want more European trips.
It's there for Hearts to do. Everyone else other than Hibs right now is either out of form or inconsistent. So it's there for Hearts to, if they could continue anything in this kind of run of form. Yeah, that's it from us. Check out everything from this game and more at heartsstandard.co.uk. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and as always, we will see you again soon.